Hey everybody, welcome to BlockRoots. I am Josh. Today's quick video, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, the market. We're going to talk about correlation with crypto assets, as well as the volatility. We're going to talk about why is Bitcoin not going above the current price area. We'll talk about the current range, the descending channel that Bitcoin is in the major moving averages. So we'll talk about all those things, as well as give away $100 in Bitcoin to one person today who commented on one of our videos for this past week. So again, thanks again for the engagement. If you're interested in being in those giveaways, all you have to do is subscribe. It's great if you like the video, but at least subscribe to the channel, as well as leave a comment below. And just know that any video, this one included, will be included for next week as far as a $100 drawing giveaway. We'll do that for anybody who engages. So again, thanks for the support. And let's go ahead and get started. As you can see here on nomics.com, and a lot of people use CoinMarketCap. Not really a big fan of CoinMarketCap, but I do like Nomics, the way they retrieve data from exchanges and on different crypto assets. And we can see that Bitcoin relatively just stable, down 0.36%. The same with Ethereum, XRP, etc. as we go down. And so, a lack of volatility today, of course, with the CME's stop trading today and the settlement upcoming with Bitcoin futures. We know we tend to have a lot more volatility, but as far as that goes, we haven't really seen much happen as of yet. Now here on the Bitcoin chart, you can actually see here we're in this descending like channel. You can go ahead, take that. This is the 3-day chart. I think that the 3-day chart is a lot cleaner on the higher time frames. Kind of pull this down to where Bitcoin has hit and just move it up. As you're going to notice that it's not perfect here, but if you notice that it's basically descending channel here. Continuing to move down in this, of course, with lower highs and lower lows. Nothing new here for you guys to see, but if you zoom out, you do see that. Another thing that we can see as well, that we see for the first time, all the major moving averages, at least on the daily chart, are underpriced, right? So, we've seen that since November. We see the price drop and, of course, price bounce, go back down and bounce again. It is relatively similar, right? You notice the last time we've seen this, that all the 200, the 50, and the 100 moving average on the daily, of course, all those cross, price go below it. We saw that finally price hit below the 50 here and go down, bounce up, go back down, and slowly move back up. And so maybe we'll see that. But all we know right now, of course, this is a lagging indicator, but we're still in a downtrend. And so nothing really to fret about yet. We're more or less ranging here between 8,000 and 6,500. So no major change at that point in time. The volatility is actually down quite a bit, not only for Bitcoin, but for other altcoins as well. If you actually look at the coin metrics chart, coinmetrics.io, you're going to notice that there is big time correlation here between all major crypto assets and Bitcoin. And so with the volatility, you're going to notice that for most of the major altcoins here, that the volatility is actually low or at their lows compared to what they have been. So again, volatility is low, correlation is very similar with Bitcoin, which goes to show that a lot of these altcoins, whether it's market makers, investors, big buyers in these, are waiting to see what Bitcoin does as far as breaking up or actually continue to break down in the 5,000 range, because we know if Bitcoin does break down in below sub 6K, a lot of these altcoins are going to be at a better value, okay? Now, many people are asking me, what altcoins am I accumulating right now? And of course, my answer is I'm not really accumulating any altcoins. Again, because if the price continues to go down for Bitcoin, the altcoins are going to be at a better value. And many of the altcoins are actually not outperforming Bitcoin. So how you know that is if you go to the altcoin chart. One that is actually performing quite well is actually Atom. Okay, and so Cosmos. And so you're going to see that since September, Atom, even though it's had a few dips in there, it's been on a continual uptrend against Bitcoin, meaning that it has outperformed Bitcoin over the course of the past few months. Now, this is one of the prime examples of an altcoin that you could be in where actually gaining against Bitcoin, meaning that even though, USD might be down, that pair, as far as against Bitcoin, it is up. So meaning that you can buy some Atom or Cosmos sell it at a later time and get more Bitcoin out of it. So if you're looking to stack your sats or to stack more Bitcoin, which most people are, as long as the coin is outperforming Bitcoin, that's the important thing to look at. But most altcoins aren't outperforming Bitcoin. They're actually continuous in a downtrend. So Atom is one of those outliers, I guess you could say, that is actually not outperforming Bitcoin, which has performed really well. But as the time being, as long as all these charts look like they're down, like this part of the Atom chart or the Cosmos chart, just know that that's not a good place to be, and it's better to stay in Bitcoin anyway. So with the altcoins, just be aware of that. Be careful as far as that goes when it comes to being in those. But as far as the Bitcoin price, again, yes, we do see the descending channel. Yes, we do see major moving averages on the higher time frames moving down. And where does it need to break? Again, we talked about this not too long ago. But if you go to the higher time frame charts, and let's go ahead and mark that out. We'll go ahead and mark this supports resistance area right here, okay? And so what you're going to notice is that this is the area that we want to see break above Bitcoin, the price, and you're going to notice on the daily charts, we were unable to do that. Let's just go to the 4 hour as well, right? So this is probably a little even better to see. We can see that price actually moved up in this zone. This is the area that we want to see Bitcoin break, okay? Break above this, meaning that if price cannot break above this, flip this into support and continue to move on up, then we're still in a downtrend. So until it can break that area, that's what I'm watching for as far as to be bullish. Now, yeah, fundamentally long term, we're always bullish on Bitcoin. All you have to do is look at the logarithmic chart. But when it comes to short term, yeah, really, we're in mid-range here, right? So that's the top of the range. The bottom of the range, if we want to go ahead and mark it, Bitcoin hit down in this area. This is not perfect, right? But for the most parts, as far as the close, it's right here. And look, we're just really in between this mid-range, okay? And so price seems to be stabilizing right here in the middle. For me, that is not worth being in a trade, right? So what we did talk about last video as well is Ryan talked about how Bitcoin continued to come up here and test this area. But even though it did, it failed. Even though the high volume of buys that we had a ton of buys in this area. But price still couldn't move up. So what that means is that the heavier hand, the bigger players are trying to hold down the price of Bitcoin currently. Especially if you look at momentum oscillators, such as RSI or CCI, you're going to notice that as high as this went, right? We hadn't seen it this high since, the push up from 3,000 area, right? We haven't seen it that high since then, and what we got out of it was really nothing. We didn't get really much out of it at all. We really just got a slight bump from 72 to 76, 7,700, and it moved back down. And so, again, when buyers step in and try to push the price up and price continues to push down, it means that the bigger players want to continue to have the price in this range. Well, why is that? Possibly reaccumulation, right? Supply and demand. As far as the demand goes, maybe this is an area where we have reaccumulation and that we just stick to this area between 6,500 to 8,000 and we continue to move on up. But maybe the demand is lower down as far as bigger players wanting to accumulate in that area. So price is going to go as low as it needs to go. So don't get really too worried about it. Overall, you can't be bearish, again, due to the fact of the long-term fundamentals. Bakkt continues to increase the volume of its trading. Also too, as far as the halving coming up, Bitcoin halving here sometime around May, depending on the block, but just know that that's coming up as well. So that tends to be bullish. We just know that Bitcoin is in a downward channel and there's not really anything that we can do about it, and just to stay positive. But until you see price break above this area right here in this gray box, there's really no reason to be bullish. There's no reason to be bullish right now. There's no reason to be bullish at high 7,000s until we break this level, close above it, and continue to trend up. Really just neutral to bearish is the place to be. And whenever price moves up, taps an area, has high volume as far as buyers goes, but moves back down, it tends to be a little bit more bearish. So I do expect the price to move back down, possibly even retest high 6,000s. If we have a break below that area, I do think that we're going to continue to move on down. And before we head off here for today, before we even draw the Bitcoin, just one thing to note is that, as you know, that YouTube recently, some way, somehow, censored many of the YouTubers in the crypto market. You're talking about dozens of people who got censored. And many of those people are actually back on. Some people still aren't, such as Chris Dunn, I believe. But again, it's so important to follow on multiple channels. So if you're not following or subscribing yet to us on YouTube, just know that we also have a Twitter account, Cameron Clark and Josh_Rager. If you're following us there, please follow us here. If you're not following us there, please follow us there. And that's because if for any reason we ever get censored on any channel, whether it be YouTube or whether it be on Twitter, you're going to have access to it to us in other places. So if you have not yet, please subscribe, click the button below, leave a comment as well. And as far as comments go, I talked about earlier as far as drawing somebody who has engaged with one of our recent videos. And so that actually is that winner of $100 in Bitcoin is going to be this person right here. And that is Pronicus. Legend. Thanks, mate. I don't see a Bitcoin address on here, so what I'm going to do is, Pronicus, I am going to respond to your comment here and say, hey, leave a Bitcoin address so we can send you $100 in Bitcoin. If that person does not get back to us in a few days, what we can do is keep going until we see somebody with a Bitcoin address here. So, and runner-up, if Pronicus does not, is Hector Palos. So Hector, just know that if Pronicus, we don't hear from him in a couple of days, we will then, since you have a Bitcoin address up, we will send it to you. If he does, I'm sorry, Hector, but we have to pick the first winner as long as they show a Bitcoin address. So guys, make sure to put in your Bitcoin address if you do comment, if you'd like to win in the giveaway, or make sure that you respond back to us timely after watching the videos as we pick the winner. So with that said, everybody, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please share it with everybody. Always enjoy your support as well. We know that Bitcoin has been in a descending channel, downward move, but stay hopeful, because as long as we keep in this area, we know that bright things are ahead for Bitcoin. And guys, trade effectively, be safe, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.